Welcome to More Action, the podcast for entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals. I'm your host, Shelly Bryan, and together we have candid conversations with industry leaders to uncover valuable wisdom and lessons learned. My hope is you use these lessons to intentionally take more action in business and life. I hope you share and enjoy. Today's episode is absolutely happening right now in our business. And I wanted to share it with you because honestly, I wish someone shared these lessons with me so that I could have maybe moved along a little bit faster. And so I am paying it forward right now here on the show. And one of the things that we did, and let me step back for a second. Welcome to the show. If you are new, we have been having such incredible growth, and I am so excited to have all kinds of new people joining, connecting on social media. And I just have to say thank you to all the listeners that we have had here on the show through the rebrand, through everything. It's because of you that the show is growing so much. So I just have to say thank you. But with us, if you're new, I have a construction company. My husband and I run it together. And I invite you, follow us over on, social media, connect with us together. I absolutely love it, sharing all of the lessons and learning from each other, Instagram and LinkedIn. But we are having exponential growth. And so with that, you go into these kind of new uncharted waters. And as we're doing that, one of the lessons I've learned in my past is, always reach out, raise your hand, ask for help. And we did that in a way for our growth to help us in organizing it. And we did that by bringing on a civil engineer that I knew to help us understand, map out everything that we are doing so that we can grow very intentionally, not just, when you need it and there's a fire. And so I did some reflection because I wanted to understand, as we go into this new area, what habits are helping us and what habits could potentially be pulling us away from where we are going. And so today's episode is about the 5 habits that I use most as a business owner. So this is just me, Shelly. Chris and I do very different things in our construction company, but business is business. There are nuances for sure. Yet I wanted to share these in hopes that they help you. And I'm going to take you through all 5 that I find that I'm using most as we are running and growing our construction company from a 7-figure to 8-figure business. We've had lots of experience with various businesses in the past. So there's lots of episodes on that. But I always want to know what's helping me. It's too often, I remember when I was in corporate America, that we would always focus on the weakness. What is your weakness? And we need to make it better. And I always challenge that. I was like, why not focus on everyone's strengths? When I was training teams or training different individuals, everyone always wanted to focus on their weakness. And I'm like, I'm going to focus on their strengths and make their strengths better. And so these are the habits or my strengths that we are using right now that I hope they help you. Just want to pay it forward and make sure that, that all this time invested, if it helps one other person, it's a win. And so I invite you, if you like video better, I get pretty animated over there. You can come join over on YouTube. We're having a lot of fun over there on that community. But if not, make sure that we are definitely connected on Instagram or LinkedIn. But let's dive in. So the first habit that I use most as a business owner is educating myself. Now you might be like, yeah, Shelly, that's nice. Okay, what does that mean? It's really investing in myself. So it's investing in my mindset and investing in my skills. This is a habit I created. And I do this, and each habit, I'm going to share with you how I do it, right? It's not just listening to the habit, but let me tell you how I do it and some things I watch out for. And so the how in educating myself is investing time and money in podcasts and books. And also asking more questions and being interested and present with others. So I love learning from other people, hence podcast, books, and actually conversations. You don't learn if you're the one talking. So I try to keep my mouth shut, my ears open, and make sure that I am taking in even the smallest nuances. And honestly, I think that's one of the things that helps me be such a great host here on the show, because I hear the tiniest little things from my guests, and I can't wait to dig in even more. And so with educating myself, like I said, reading podcasts, asking questions, but you got to go beyond the obvious. So I've shared this before, increase my financial skills, understanding of the books, the reporting, what we're watching, our feedback loops. That is an actual skill, but I wanted to take it deeper. I wanted to understand why we make certain financial decisions, not just reading, a certain data point, but what does that data point tell me about the past, and what could it possibly lead me to believe in the future? And I also love hearing that from other people. So it's understanding at a deeper level than just what is the obvious. So investing your time in that. Now, number two, Chris and I recorded an entire episode on this, but it is saying no to shiny objects. If you are a high achiever, whether you're with an organization or you are an entrepreneur and business owner, my guess is that you see problems all day long and you're like, I can solve those problems. Let me do it. And I can tell you without a doubt, saying yes can hurt you more than saying no. I'm going to repeat that. Saying yes can hurt you more than saying no. So by saying no to shiny objects, that is a habit, and it is a hard one. This is probably one of the hardest ones that I have to flex this habit all the time and remind yourself. Now, for us, Chris and I, on how we do this, we stay focused. We are so focused on growing this company right now. And it is the only thing that we are focused on. Besides, I do love this podcast, but it is not a business. This is what I am enjoying right now. We'll see where it goes in the future. All of our focus is on our construction company. And we will not say yes to another business until we have fired ourselves from this business, meaning that we have grown the team and put the right people in the right seats to be able to step away. And so this is something that is incredibly important, is saying no to shiny objects in different businesses. I know you're seeing them all day long because I know we are too. And that also means investing, right? I was just on a panel at a great, ambitious business owners, all women event, and talking about investing. And we said no to investments for so long because we wanted to stay focused on our thing, and everything was focused on the business. So I can tell you, say no, stay focused on the one thing, and you will be tested all the time on this one. Okay, number 3 is delegating. So again, I don't know about you, as a mom, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as someone that is climbing the corporate ladder, it is incredibly tough to delegate, because guess what? We tell ourselves this false truth all the time. I can do it best, or I can do it the fastest. And I got to tell you guys right now, and these are habits that I will tell you that I have strengthened in the last 4 years. So this is very relevant, very recent that this is all happening. And delegating is that there is no award for being busy or working hard. You don't get an award for it. And being busy and having checklists and doing all of that, it does not help you. And at the end of the day, when you have that gut feeling that you were like, I just took care of a bunch of nonsense stuff that did not move my business or my career forward, those are the things that you need to delegate. Those are the things that are pulling you away from actually taking action on the things that will get you closer towards your real results. Now, how I did this with delegation was I found the bottlenecks. It is actually something that was really hard for me to learn, but now I can see it. And let me give you a little hint. If you're like still in that phase of I can do it best and I can do it the fastest, is that the bottleneck is typically you. in some way because you won't let go. And so I have a team of 5 VAs. They're fantastic. We have our field teams. We are delegating more and more, which is freeing up Chris and I to focus on the main things in our business, which will take it to this new next level that we need to be on. But if we're doing all of these little tasks because we feel we do it best, I promise you we would not be where we are right now if we still held on to that as truth. And so there's a couple questions that I know I'll ask myself. Chris is getting better at this too, and he has his own way of going through it. But as I look at it, is can I do something else in my business that makes more money than what I can pay someone else to do what I am struggling or I am causing the bottleneck right here? 99.99% of the time, the answer is yes. And so if you can find incredible talent here or abroad to be able to help you, and we have a mix of both, whatever works for your business is to say yes and start delegating more and stop even doing the little things. Help your team, lead your team be able to do it. And I got to tell you, if you're still in that phase, start small. It's okay. Start with some small little things. And I have to share this warning when it comes to delegating, because you're going to get time back. If you do it right, you're going to get time back. And we all have the same amount of time every single day. But those that get ahead the fastest and the most leverage their time on tasks that actually make a difference in the business. So when you get that time back, when you start delegating, right? Be cognizant of what you're using that time on, because very easily we've been in that habit before. This is a hurting habit where you just need to be busy. We don't need to be busy. We need to be focused. And so delegating has helped us be more focused and taking intentional action towards the business. All right, number 4. This is another habit. I just love this one. Staying the small fish. So here's what I mean by that. If you've never heard, right? Do you want to be a small fish in a pond, or do you want to be the big fish in the pond? And at the end of the day, the big fish taps out. They can't get any bigger. They think they know everything. They gobble up all the time, all the resources. I always want to be the small fish. And I can tell you in various times in my career, I was absolutely the small fish. And it is uncomfortable at times. 100% it's uncomfortable because you're around people that are maybe more successful or maybe more educated or more knowledgeable or have more experience than you. But if you go back to that first one about educating, listen, ask questions, learn. Now, here's the thing that I will say. To stay the small fish, you will grow in the various communities and ponds that you are a part of. You will grow and you will become the big fish. And the hardest part about being the big fish is making the decision on where and who you want to invest your time with. So I can tell you right now, all of these are relevant. This one is very relevant for me right now. And so I'm still working on it. I felt around the beginning of the year, I felt like I was getting a little bit of that kind of big fish feeling. I wasn't being pushed or challenged. I wasn't uncomfortable going into some rooms. And I recognize that. And I'm like, I'm ready. I am ready to go be that small fish now. I'm ready to find that next level pond that I can go be that small fish in again. And so I've had to make some tough decisions. They don't feel good when you have to, limit your time or focus your time elsewhere. And it's not anything bad. Those that want to continue to be in the community, continue to support you as you win, you support them as they win, they're going to come with you. Just remember that. But I also must tell you, when it comes to staying the small fish, sometimes you have to pay to play, or you have to be first to provide value and expect nothing in return. And so to gain entrance, again, I'm learning this right now, okay? But to gain entrance, to be in these big rooms, it's just not about the accolades. I'll tell you that right now. But it's, are you willing to invest in them? Is that a financial investment? Is that a time investment? And expect nothing in return. I am there right now, and it's really uncomfortable. I can tell you I am really excited. This is a great place to be. And so if you are so comfortable in your room, I will tell you, if you're so comfortable in your room and you're not being challenged or you're not applying what you're learning, that's an indicator that it might be time to find a new pond. You may be a big fish, or that pond may be getting a little murky, let's call it. So more to come on this. I know that there's going to be some episodes coming on this because I'm entering that uncharted waters right now, and I'm looking for new ponds where I can remain that small fish and learn and grow and invest in myself and in others. And so this is something that people have shared and talked about and been like, oh, do this or do that. It's not that easy. So once I kind of go through this, I've been through it before, but this is a whole new level right now. Once I've been through this, trust me, I will share, because I know many of you are there right now or will be there very you. So stay tuned on that. Now let's round out with that fifth habit. Again, you guys, I just got to drop it again because YouTube is a lot of fun. So come join me over on YouTube. We're having some really I'm sharing different information there than I do on the other social medias because it's a different platform. Having a lot of fun with it. So I invite you, come on over and subscribe there because you can see my really cool blue light if you're, watching on YouTube. All right, let's get back to the fifth habit. This one is one that I hope you stayed all the way to the end, because this one, I don't think gets talked about enough. And this is a habit, is that I had to start questioning my financial beliefs. Now, if you're new to the show, I invite you to go back and you'll see some episodes where I talk about some major failures that I have. And that's one thing that I will say in my past, I have never been scared to take failures or take risks. And for the fear of failure, I never had a fear of failing because I always knew I could get back up and go again. Well, I took a huge risk back in 2018. I left an incredible career. I went and did a complete 180 and I bought into a franchised restaurant. I was the first one to open. I'm giving you a little backstory to understand why I'm questioning my financial beliefs. But I was the first one to open. 11 months later, found out from the franchisor there was fraud, misrepresentation. We had to shut the business down. Through all the legal mumbo jumbo, got nothing. I lost over 7 figures on this. I had to let go of an incredible staff and team that I had. And it's the first time where my failures were always to me, right? So it wasn't like that big of a deal. I could just reinvent, keep going, learn the lesson, go. But this one hurt other people in the sense that I had a great team. I loved my team. They were so amazing. And I loved watching them even move on past the restaurant and succeed. So this one hit me really hard. Plus, obviously, losing that much money, that, let's just say it, that sucked too. So I went through a period after, not only was I depressed, but I didn't trust myself. I did not trust myself for making decisions. And again, this wasn't my first time failing. This was just the largest failure I had. But I didn't trust myself, which also meant that I did not believe I was worthy of success again because that failure was so bad. And I had to sit with that. Part of what got me out of that, and I shared this before on different episodes, was that educating myself. This is where I actually turned to education because I felt I needed to relearn. I needed to understand my mindset. I never had these feelings before in my life because I failed and gotten back up. I couldn't get back up on this one. And so hearing stories or reading stories from others who had been in my same situation, lost it all, and then came back, it's what gave me the belief that I could do it again. It also helped me question that worthiness, because if they lost it all and they got it back and were successful, why couldn't I? Now, the trusting myself, that took probably the most time, but a lot of it came around these financial beliefs that I had. And I just kept wondering, if they can, why not me? And I'm going to give a little shout out here to James. If you don't follow him on School of Hard Knocks on Instagram, I've been following him for quite some time. Young guy, absolutely love what he's doing, but he interviews. So some guys are a little bit interesting, but there are some other guys that he interviews, just business owners in their 60s and 70s. And he asks them the best questions ever. And a lot of them, he says, hey, have you ever lost it all? And almost all of them, I'm talking multi-hundred millionaires, say, oh yeah, I've lost it all. That's okay. I came back. And I was like, okay, if they're doing it, why can't I? It's like you had to borrow proof. I had to find proof from someone else that had failed that I could lean on and borrow, that I could do it too. And so learning from other people here, I read books. I wanted to understand. I just wanted to believe that it was possible. If it was for someone else, then why not me? And so Chris has even shared on our episode that we recorded together that he was waiting for me to turn it on. I'm doing air quotes if you're watching right now. Turn it on, because if I do anything, I go all in. Like, watch out, get out of the way. I'm going all in. And I actually think that's one of the things that drew us together. We're just getting ready to celebrate our 19th wedding anniversary. But it's one of the things that I know that he loved about me. And he was waiting for me to turn it on because I shut it all off after that big failure. And I can tell you that shutting it all off, it was like I was acting protected. And I was playing not to lose instead of playing to win. I recorded a whole episode on that perspective right there. And if you are in that position where you are playing protective, you got to start questioning some of your beliefs. Mine were financial beliefs, and I still question them. That failure hurt hard. Doesn't mean that I'm done. And so how I did it was listening to others, reflecting, questioning myself, finding proof from my past, or like I said, borrowing proof from others. And let me tell you, this one, there was lots of ugly crying and lots of release and lots of forgiving myself. Now, one other thing that I have done, and this has been in the last, I would say 12 months, is I am speaking in much bigger numbers. So instead of playing small, instead of playing not to lose, I am thinking, believing, writing, focusing on, planning in much larger numbers than I ever have before. Part of that is showing myself, not only am I worthy, but that I can do it. And I will say I'm fortunate because our construction company does allow me to speak in large numbers. And I know everyone doesn't have that. But I'm going to tell you right now, in whatever business or career you are in, I promise you there are people that are doing it with big numbers. And so go borrow some of their belief to help you right now. I can feel it, and I hope that you can hear it. As Chris says, he's waiting for me to turn it on. It's coming on. Like, it's coming. Like, watch out, because what we did in the last 12 months was incredible. But what we're going to do in the next 12 months and then beyond, my questioning of my financial beliefs has turned that around. I know for me, we are a strong team. And so I have to, and I want to, and I get to be that person for Chris too. So bringing you back through those 5 habits that I use most as a business owner. And this is, I shared, I'm going through some of this right now, but I will tell you in the last 5 years, even 4 years, these are the habits that have literally changed so much of our life is educating myself, investing in myself first, saying no to shiny objects all the time, delegating, delegate. More often than not, it's you that you need to delegate, take away from. You are the bottleneck in your business or in your way right now. Always stay that small fish. As uncomfortable as it feels being the small fish, man, it is super fun and it is very exciting. And then last is questioning your financial beliefs. This is what I did. So you guys, I am just sharing what I am going through, what has helped me. And if you're able to pull one thing, great. If you pull nothing, no problem. I appreciate you listening, but maybe you could share this with someone else that is in this position right now as a business owner and looking how to increase their skills or behaviors through habits. So thank you so much. And I can't wait for you guys to hear some of the guests that I have coming up. So make sure that you are subscribed on YouTube, that you are subscribed on whichever podcast platform you listen to so that you don't miss a thing.